In the full version of the basic platformer game engine, you can add sprites to your level, which can be signs or NPCs or non-player characters for the player to interact with, to receive messages, to further the story, or give the player clues about what they should do next. The first level in the engine already has a simple sign set up as an example. As you can see, when the player walks near it and presses up, the dialogue system appears, displaying the first string of text, and then waiting for a button press, and then displays the successive lines of text until it reaches the last string. Then a final button press closes the dialogue, restores normal control to the player, and turns the sign gray so the player knows they already read it. Go to Project, Object Types, and find the NPC Sprite 1 sprite, and drag it so that the character appears to be standing on the ground somewhere the player will have access to. While we provide this example sprite to make the process easy to learn, it's not set up yet for use with the dialogue system. Here's what you have to do. In Projects, find the Families section and right-click the Sign Sprites family and choose Edit. Now add the NPC Sprite 1 sprite to this family. Now you see it has a series of variables in its properties. These are what we need to edit. Which text should always be left at 1. It's just a way for the engine to keep track of which of the dialogue strings is currently being displayed for that sprite. How many tells the engine how many text strings are used for this particular sprite. If only one string is enough, then set this to 1. 2 or 3 are also valid options. If you ever need to make a really long sign or a very long-winded NPC character, I'll show you how to add additional lines of text in a moment. Text 1 through text 3 are each strings of text which will be displayed in order once the player initiates the dialogue system by pressing up near the sign or NPC sprite. Range lets you set how close the player must be in pixels from the left or right of the sign or NPC for pressing up to trigger the dialogue. Face Player lets you tell the engine whether or not the NPC or sign should horizontally flip to make sure it's always facing the player during dialogue. Typically, sign should be set to no and NPC should be set to yes, using all caps. You can reuse the same sign and NPC sprites throughout the game and change the text they will display for each iteration of the sprite. You can also add as many unique additional signs and sprites with different appearances by cloning either the sign or NPC sprite and then editing or replacing the art in their animations. So now that you know how it works, here's how to add additional text strings beyond the default 3. First, go to Projects, Families, and select the Sign Sprites family. In its properties, find its family variables and edit them. Add as many additional variables as you need, starting with text 4 and so on. Be sure to set their type to text as opposed to number. Then go to the Level Events event sheet, and for each text variable you added, copy the event that looks like this, and everywhere it mentions text 3, change that to one of the additional text variables you've added. So if you've added a text 4 and a text 5, you'd copy that event twice, and for one you would replace references to text 3 with text 4, and for the other you'd replace the references to text 3 with text 5. Then of course, you'd need to make sure to set the how many variable to 5 for the specific sprites you want to display all 5 text strings. Thanks for watching.